There's something deeply comforting about walking into a home that whispers tales of bygone elegance, where every curve of a carved chair, every soft glow of a crystal chandelier, and every patina on a gilded mirror feels like an embrace from the past. With vintage home interiors, you're not just decorating a space, you're weaving history, personality, and timeless charm into your daily life. It's about creating that feeling of elegant and nostalgic design, where antique decor and classic accents become part of your story and your sanctuary.
Welcome to Rustic Elegance. Let's embark on a journey through the beauty of rustic decor, celebrating the warmth, simplicity, and natural charm of this timeless design.
Timeless vintage home interiors, elegant ways to style with antique decor and classic accents. In this episode, you'll discover 10 beautifully styled ideas that bring together antique decor, classic accents, and rich design moods. From warm neutrals and gold highlights to dusty rose, ivory, faded florals, and deep emerald. Each section explores a unique room or theme. Think vintage living rooms, antique-inspired bedrooms, French country farmhouse style, and more, and offers you stylish design ideas, color palettes, accessory tips, and creative styling suggestions to help you craft a home that radiates timeless elegance and personal warmth. Let's dive in and awaken the old-world charm in your home. One. Vintage living room design ideas. Embrace the living room's vintage elegance with velvet and crystal. In a vintage living room design, imagine a velvet sofa in rich warm neutrals, complemented by a crystal chandelier that casts soft light across carved wood furniture, perhaps a detailed carved wood table that serves as the centerpiece. Such a mix of antique decor and classic accents instantly imbues the room with sophistication and nostalgic allure. As interior design experts note, incorporating furnishings and accessories from earlier periods brings an aura of elegance and peaceful nostalgia. When curating this look, stick to a color palette of warm neutrals, gold accent touches, and soft lighting. Use this as your base and then layer textures, like crushed velvet cushions or a vintage rug, to ground the space with comfort and character. Styling tips: layering and accessorizing for a rich vintage look. To truly style a vintage living room with elegance, begin by placing your statement pieces, such as the velvet sofa and carved wood table. Then add supporting accents, a crystal chandelier overhead, gold-trimmed side tables, and a few antique accessories like brass candlesticks or old leather-bound books. According to Vintage Decor guidance, small vintage accessories can add character, depth, and warmth to any room. Next, bring visual harmony by sticking to your warm neutrals plus gold accents plus soft lighting palette. For example, choose a muted beige for walls, anchor the flooring with a Persian-style rug in deep taupe, and allow gold finish details on mirrors or frames to act as glowing highlights. A tip: mix one bold vintage piece like that carved wood table with simpler modern complements to avoid the room feeling overly themed or stuck in a single era. Two, antique-inspired bedroom styling. Create a romantic and serene retreat with brass and lace. In your bedroom sanctuary, lean into a romantic and serene aesthetic by selecting a brass bed frame, pairing it with lace curtains that gently filter the light, and layering floral bedding in tones of dusty rose and ivory. The combination of these elements elevates the space into a refined vintage escape. Experts say that floral patterns are essential to creating a vintage look, and that soft pastel color palettes help define its softness and femininity. Focus on soft, faded florals, ivory linens, and delicate texture. Use dusty rose, linen ivory, and faded floral prints as your primary palette. Let sheer lace drapes skirt the windows and complement them with antique-style bedside tables or vintage footstools upholstered in complementary fabric. Styling tips, textures, layers, and calming vintage bedroom vibes. Layering is key in an antique-inspired bedroom. Start with the brass bed frame and install lace curtains. Then add your floral bedding, including pillows in varied sizes and shapes. Introduce an upholstered chair or chaise in dusty rose, placing it beneath a softly lit lamp for an inviting reading nook. Choose furniture with classic details, turned legs, subtle carvings, brass hardware, and finish with accessories like antique trinket boxes, vintage photo frames, or a delicate porcelain lamp. To keep the ambience serene, stick to the ivory, dusty rose, and faded florals palette and avoid overly bold prints. This ensures the room feels timeless, calm, and inviting. Three. Classic dining room table decor. Set a dining table that radiates cozy classic charm. When styling your dining room for timeless appeal, consider porcelain dishes, elegant candle holders, and linen napkins as your foundational accents. This trio evokes a sense of luxury and heritage without fuss. A color scheme of cream and navy, illuminated by candlelight glow, helps create a warm, welcoming space for dinners, gatherings, or quiet evenings. Vintage-inspired design often emphasizes layering texture, pattern, and character, especially through textiles and lighting. Use a cream and navy palette. G. Cream tone tablecloth, navy napkins, porcelain plates with subtle gold trim. Place candle holders down the center of the table to bathe the space in soft light. Mix textures, from crisp linen to smooth porcelain. Add depth and refinement. Styling tips: accessories, color anchors, and tabletop elegance. To style your tabletop, start with the porcelain dishes as your foundation. Add linen napkins folded casually and candle holders spaced evenly. For a modern twist, consider mixing in a vintage sideboard or display cabinet to show off your ceramic or liveried pieces. Accent with muted elements like a cream runner and navy placemats. Introduce soft metallic touches in candle holders or cutlery to echo the vintage feel. Keep the color palette consistent, and when in doubt, less is more. A few selected antique pieces paired with clean modern lines will strike that balance of cozy and heartwarming decor without feeling heavy or outdated. Four. Elegant entryway with antique furniture. Make your entryway welcoming with gilded beauty. Your entryway sets the tone for the rest of your home, so styling it with intention is key. Think about a classic setup: an antique console table, a gilded mirror mounted above it, and a graceful wall sconce that emits soft ambient lighting. In a palette of muted beige, antique gold, and soft whites ***, this combination creates a first impression of welcoming and sophisticated vintage style. Vintage style design emphasizes natural materials, aged furniture, and soft light as essential elements. Place the console table against a neutral beige wall, hang the gilded mirror centrally, and mount a wall sconce on either side, or one sconce with a lamp on the table. Use accessories such as a vintage porcelain vase, an antique brass tray for keys, and a stack of leather-bound books or decorative boxes to complete the vignette. Styling tips: balancing decor, texture, and entryway flow. In terms of styling, anchor the area with the console and mirror. Choose accessories that echo the color palette: soft whites, beiges, antique gold finishes. Use a runner rug that complements the scheme and adds texture underfoot. Consider a small upholstered bench or vintage chair nearby to offer function and form. Mix in some greenery, perhaps a potted fern or a trailing ivy in an aged terracotta pot, to soften the space and bring natural texture. This helps the entryway feel calm and inviting rather than staged. The use of quality antique furniture plus thoughtful lighting produce that refined ambience of timeless interior elegance. Five. Restoring old wooden furniture. Rediscover the beauty of warm oak and natural texture. One of the most satisfying aspects of vintage styling is restoring old wooden furniture, allowing the patina of time and the grain of the wood to shine. Use a sandpaper kit, wax polish, or chalk paint to revive a piece from the past. Embrace warm oak tones and natural textures to accentuate the authenticity of the material. Experts highlight how distressed furniture and natural fabrics contribute significantly to vintage interior charm. Start by selecting a piece, perhaps a chest, sideboard, or chair, with strong bones. Lightly sand away rough spots, apply a wax polish that brings out the wood grain, or consider a chalk paint finish in a soft neutral. Leave some edges slightly worn to preserve the character. Styling tips, DIY techniques, color themes, and functional charm. When restoring, choose finishes that match your overall palette. For example, if your interior features warm neutrals and gold accents, complete the piece with brass hardware or a gold tone finish on knobs. Use natural textures like linen cushions or jute rugs nearby to reinforce that tactile richness. Incorporate the restored furniture into modern usage. A vintage sideboard can serve as a media console or display for treasured objects. This functional reuse ensures the piece remains part of everyday life rather than dusty decor. As one guide states, start with a few one-of-a-kind antique pieces and let their character shine through. 6. Victorian-inspired living spaces. Channel grand and poetic style with tufted sofas and ornate frames. For a truly grand vintage interior, draw inspiration from the Victorian era. Imagine a tufted sofa, patterned wallpaper with rich damask or floral motifs, and ornate frames housing artwork or mirrors. With a palette of deep burgundy, emerald, cream, you'll craft a space that reads as grand and poetic, while remaining approachable. Vintage design experts point to natural materials and layered textures as key to this kind of timeless aesthetic. Place a dramatic tufted sofa in the center of the room, backed by patterned wallpaper in emerald or burgundy. Surround it with jewel-toned cushions, a rich area rug, and vintage side tables. Wall art framed in gold or deep wood finishes enhances the sense of history and layered design. Styling tips: balancing drama with comfort and classic mood. Although the Victorian style is inherently ornate, the key is balance. Incorporate cream accents, perhaps in the upholstery, curtains, or ceiling moldings, to lighten the space and prevent it from feeling too heavy. Add a mix of textures, velvet, silk, carved wood, and avoid overwhelming clutter by keeping accessories curated. Use lighting strategically. Consider a chandelier or elegant floor lamp that echoes the era but provides modern convenience. A well-placed reading chair upholstered in emerald, paired with a vintage side table and brass lamp, invites someone to linger. This approach keeps your space feeling luxurious and timeless as opposed to overly themed. Seven. How to mix modern and vintage decor. Achieving stylish and balanced harmony between old and new. Mixing modern and vintage decor can result in a dynamic, stylish interior where each piece has purpose. For instance, pair mid-century chairs with an antique rug and a brass lamp, using a palette of beige, navy, and brass highlights. This approach fosters a stylish and balanced aesthetic that acknowledges both modern and vintage sensibilities. Designers emphasize the importance of this mix to keep homes from feeling stuck in time. Start with modern base pieces, a sleek sofa, simple coffee table, and layer in vintage elements, rug, lamp, artwork that carry character. Make sure the color palette unifies the two here, beige as a neutral base, navy as anchor, and brass for shimmer. Use contrasting shapes. Clean modern silhouettes meet ornate vintage textures. The key: don't overfill the space with antique pieces. Allow each item to breathe and shine. Styling tips: layering styles, anchoring colors, and curated accents. Be mindful of scale and proportion when combining styles. A large modern coffee table may dominate an antique rug, so consider reducing scale or balancing with vintage side chairs. Choose brass or gold accents on modern furniture to echo the vintage hardware details and create continuity. Use navy as a grounding color, perhaps an accent wall or upholstered chair, and soften with beige and brass finishes. This ensures that vintage pieces don't look out of place and modern pieces don't feel cold. Curate your accessories. Keep the vintage items intentional, e.g. one antique lamp, one vintage artwork, rather than decorating every surface. This keeps the space fresh and timeless. Eight. Shabby chic pastel room decor. Craft a soft and dreamy vintage space with pastel romance. To evoke a soft and dreamy vintage atmosphere, embrace the charm of shabby chic, distressed furniture, lace pillows, floral art, and a pastel color palette of pastel pink, sage green, and cream. As the style's roots suggest, the use of soft neutral tones, floral patterns, and gently worn furniture aligns perfectly with vintage interior design ideals. Use furniture with intentionally distressed finishes, whitewashed tables, painted dressers, and accessorize with lace-covered cushions and vintage-style floral prints. Choose pastel pink for the accent chair or cushions, sage green for curtains or throw pillows, and cream for larger surfaces like walls or bedding. Styling tips: layering pastels, texture and nostalgic decor. Create a cozy vignette. Place a distressed white side table beside a pastel pink upholstered chair, topped with a lace pillow and a floral print throw. Add some vintage picture frames with sepia prints or floral artwork on the wall. Use soft lighting, such as a small table lamp with a linen shade. Avoid overly saturated colors. Stick to faded pastels and soft creams to maintain the charm and avoid feeling too theme park shabby. Combine textures like linen, lace, and worn wood to maintain depth. This styling approach invites calm, nostalgia-filled warmth. (9) French country farmhouse style. Romantic and rustic elegance with wrought iron and ceramic accents. In a space inspired by French country farmhouse style, look to pieces like a wrought iron bed, a ceramic jug, and a rustic cabinet. Your palette of whitewash tones, soft blue, and earthy beige helps deliver a mood that is both romantic and rustic, warm and inviting. Vintage-style decor emphasizes layering natural materials and aged finishes, which this style naturally provides. Whitewashed walls and exposed beams set the backdrop. Place a wrought iron bed with soft linens in soft blue and earthy beige accents. Add a rustic cabinet, a vintage wood piece with natural texture, and place a ceramic jug filled with wildflowers or dried branches. touches bring history and character into everyday living. Styling tips: natural materials, color harmony, and farmhouse charm. Stick with natural materials, linen sheets, wood beams, ceramic and iron accents. Use the whitewash tones as the base, accentuate with soft blue accessories, throws, cushions, and ground the space with earthy beige elements: rug, wooden chest, natural fiber basket. Incorporate antique or vintage-inspired accessories: an old wooden ladder as a blanket rack, ceramic jugs for flower arrangements, and a weathered cabinet for storage. The layering of materials and colors creates a home that feels lived in, cozy, and full of character, perfect for a vintage-inspired farmhouse aesthetic. Vintage lighting ideas for cozy homes. Illuminate with elegance: brass chandeliers and antique bronze accents. Lighting plays a pivotal role in defining mood, and for vintage interiors, choose pieces like a brass chandelier, a glass pendant, or candle sconces to cast a warm glow and lend an air of elegance. When paired with a palette of warm glow and antique bronze, these lighting fixtures accentuate the timeless and cozy feel of the space. Experts agree that incorporate antique lighting is one of the key ways to bring character into the home. Use a statement brass chandelier in the living or dining area as your focal point. In bedrooms or reading nooks, a glass pendant with a soft filament bulb or antique candle sconces adds subtle charm. Ensure the light output is warm to maintain a cozy atmosphere. Styling tips: placement, layered lighting, and vintage illumination. Create layers of light: overhead fixture chandelier, task lighting, brass table lamp, and ambient lighting, candle sconces or wall lights. Match metal finishes, brass, antique bronze, and avoid mixing too many different metals to maintain cohesion. Consider the era and scale of your fixtures. A large chandelier suits a high ceiling room, while a delicate glass pendant may be ideal for a smaller space. Use lighting not just for function but for mood setting. Let the soft glow of a vintage-style fixture invite warmth, conversation, and relaxation. Conclusion. In bringing together antique decor, classic accents, and thoughtful styling, you open the door to a home that holds stories, elegance, and a sense of timeless charm. Whether you're curating a vintage living room with a velvet sofa and crystal chandelier, designing a dreamy pastel-filled shabby chic space, or integrating modern elements with treasured vintage finds, these interiors speak of authenticity and heart. The layered textures, curated color palettes, and meaningful accessories can transform your space into a place of refined comfort and nostalgic beauty. Now it's your moment. Imagine which of these design ideas resonates most with your vision of home. Have fun browsing antique markets, hunting for that perfect brass lamp or lace trim cushion, and layering elements that reflect you. Share your discoveries, try something new, and let your home become a beautifully styled canvas of memories and elegance. Your journey toward timeless vintage interior design begins today. Cheers to a home filled with character, warmth, and enduring style.